Hey, Shalom, this is your brother Yonathan. Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash. Okay, Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. When Moses inquired about his name, Yahweh is the name he gave him. The language of the heavens is the Hebrew tongue. We know that when the angel, or Yahweh Shai, smote Saul, who became Paul, okay, off of the horse. And he spoke out to him in the Hebrew tongue. Yahweh Shai is the Son's name, all right? The only begotten of the Father. Yahweh Shai means he saves or he delivers, okay? So we said Yahweh, right? Bahashem, in the name Yahweh Shai of the Son. Call halal, call all halal praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha, Kodash, the Holy Spirit. Okay? Now I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who the Lord has used to bring out the full understanding of the scriptures so that we might receive salvation. Also the bishops and the brothers on down who are pushing this truth in sincerity. Okay, and of course the few sisters who are following the truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Today we're going to talk about experiencing true love. The scriptures mention 3 types of love, but there's the highest form, which is agape. All right, but we're going to go through all 3, and we're going to be technical because the scriptures are technical. All right, we're going to start from Eros on up. Eros, a romantic, passionate love that's based on physical attraction. It's the type of love that most often portrayed in romantic movies. The term comes from the Greek mythological god of love, Eros. So this is the lowest form. This fades and changes, okay? It's fickle. Then you have philia, right? Philadelphia, brotherly love, right? A love based on shared interests, goals, or personalities. It's also known as brotherly love and is a deep, meaningful friendship between equals. In the New Testament, this word is often translated as friend, okay? So you're going to experience this in the truth a whole lot if you're around men that are actually in the truth. Now, the highest form is agape. Christ-centered love, the Mashiach, the anointed one. Others-oriented love that's considered the highest form of love is the love that God has for us and the type of love that Christians are called to show others. Agape is sacrificial and self-giving and is demonstrated through actions, being doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves, like it talks about in James 1:22. Now, Yahweh Shai showed us agape when he got up on that cross so that we can have a bridge way back to the Father and access to eventual eternal life and perfection. And we read this all the time, but we're going to read it again, right? If you go to John 15:13, it says what? Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Right? The Lord laid his life down. And we are to be, like it talks about in Romans 12. And we're going to come back to that, John, because there's more on it. There's more on that. Okay? We're going to go to Romans 12:1. We are to be living sacrifices. So our purpose in life is to fulfill or to reciprocate that love that was showed to us. So we're living sacrifices. Our purpose here is to forward the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And you do that, all right, in a plethora of ways. It's all encompassing. It includes doing the work, going out on the highways and byways, prophesying and doing what we were commanded to do. But it's also a way that you walk in. It's also a conduct that you keep. Okay, Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies. And this body isn't yours. It's a loaner. The Lord gave it to you. All right? It's a holding cell for your spirit to be on this plane of existence. So it doesn't belong to you. So it's not your shit. Right? So you should do right with it. The person that gave it to you should do right by it in the way that they told you to do right by it. That ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. It's the least you can do. And be not conformed to this world. So you're not supposed to be in the mindset of this world or adhere to the vibration or the thought processes or the philosophies of the people here, what they deem is right and wrong. You're supposed to seek to fall in love with the Lord's way and see past how your flesh feels and see through a spiritual lens, see through a spiritual eye. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Now we can go back to John and get the more meat off of that bone. John 15:13, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Yahushua did that. Boom. Verse 14, ye are my friends, right? If you do whatsoever I command you. Okay? Now, what you'll notice is in verse 13, that love there, it's going to be agape. He showed agape. He gave up everything for our sakes. And because of that, the elect, they're going to have access to be a brother to him. A little brother. To the top spirit in creation. So we have access to that intimate relationship in having a common goal, right? Because we read the definition. Let's go back to it. All right. So he showed agape. But through that, through us showing agape back by being living sacrifices, we have access to this brotherly relationship. Philia, a love based on shared interests, goals, or personalities. It's also known as brotherly love and is a deep, meaningful friendship between equals, where we're not equal with Yahushua. We're going to be made like unto him when we receive our new bodies, but we're not equal to him. Okay, there's an order. In the New Testament, this word often translated as friends. So we get to be friends, man. Brothers and friends to the top spirit. And the Lord takes care of his brothers. He is his brother's keeper. All right? Now let's go look up that word so you know I'm just not making this up. Prove all things, right? Love here in this verse, I'm positive it's going to be agape. Greater love, right? Boom. G26, it's agape.
Strong's G26, agape. Agape.
Affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, brotherly love. So it mentions brotherly love and agape as well. All right? And a man of the elect is going to be willing to lay his life down for his brother. For another man that's giving his life for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay? You're not going to experience this in the world, man. Not in righteousness. Alright? So that's that. But in that next verse, right, verse 14, friends, it's going to be philos. Alright, G5384. If it let me click it, I'm trying to click it, y'all. Bear with me. Okay, it's giving me trouble because I'm clicking it and it's not letting me do it. Okay, that's all the other scriptures that is mentioned, but it's philos, right? And we know what it means now. But I would have liked to get the blue letter definition. I'm gonna try it one more time. Have a little patience with me, or not. It's 15. Verse 14. Okay, there we go.
Strong's G 5384. Philos.
Friends,
Philos.
be friendly to one. Wish him well. One of the bridegrooms. Ooh-wee! Verse that fourth definition, man. D. It says, one of the bridegroom's friends, who on his behalf asked the hand of the bride and rendered him various services in closing the marriage and celebrating nuptials. Now, the scriptures say what? To bid. We're supposed to be in the city bidding people to the marriage. Let's get that. It's in Matthew 22, I believe. Let's start here at the top. Matthew 22:1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son. All right? Yahweh has made a marriage for his son, for Yahushua. All right? The nation of Israel is also likened unto his bride. All right? But we want to be friends of the bridegroom. Okay? We want to be that intercessor between Israel and the bridegroom. And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it. There's people that are making light of what this whole thing is about. And went in their ways, one to his farm and another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. Now, going back up to verse 6, right? You got to remember, 2/3 of our nation were always had a grudge against the prophets, to the point that they would kill the prophets. So there's a big portion of our people who the Lord has sent his friends out to, hey, invite you to this wedding that's going to upgrade your life. And they basically spit in their face, and even to the point where they're willing to slay some of the men. And that's going to happen again. There's going to be 2/3 out here that's willing to go take it all the way there, man. Even some of them with fringes on. Verse 7. All right? But the king, when he heard thereof, he was wroth. And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. So in the midst of Jacob's trouble, man, when the Lord returns, 2/3 of our people, they're going to be burned up. Because they entreated the Lord's friends spitefully. And even some of them slew. Verse 8. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So we're supposed to bid people to the marriage, man. Okay, so going back to that word that we were reading in John 15:14, right? Let's get it again. One of the bridegroom's friends, who on his behalf asked the hand of the bride and rendered him various services in closing the marriage and celebrating nuptials. So right now, you're being shown philos and agape, because we risk our lives to speak this truth. Those who stood up against evil in this world are going to be persecuted to the furthest extent. The Lord's going to have their back, but that persecution going to come nonetheless. So you're being shown agape and philos. All right? But by us performing these duties, we get to experience a higher love, not only amongst each other, but from the Lord himself. So this is the highest form of love you can experience. Let's go finish out what we were reading in John. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, For all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. So the prophecies and what to watch out for, the game plan, the script, has been revealed unto the Lord's men. And he's chosen us, like it goes into verse 16. He's chosen us. We didn't choose him. You don't choose this thing for yourself. The Lord chooses you. A lot of brothers had plans to do other things in this world, and we're on a trajectory to accomplish those things. But the Lord pressed the pause button on that and called them into the fold. All right, and made known to them all the things that were getting ready to come to pass, that it was told to him of his Father. Verse 16, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go forth and bring forth, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, bid people to the marriage, and that your fruit should remain, being this thing for the long haul, endure to the end, so that they might be saved. That whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. So we get access to a whole nother realm of authority, a whole nother realm of consideration and love. You know, you go to your friend's house when you're a kid. This may not be the kids today, but when I was a kid, man, all the kids would stay at each other's houses, and all the parents knew their kids' friends, to the point, you know, you develop relationships with people like they were your brother. And you could go over there and you could, you know, ask, hey, Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, you mind if hey, come in, y'all go in the fridge, y'all good, to where it was like that was a second home for you. You had access to like a different level of relationship. You had access to, oh my goodness, it was just different. You know? But this is even on a much higher level than that. But I'm just giving an example. You know, man, again, I want to bring it back to 15. We got access to know all the things that are going to happen on earth. We're in the Lord's movie, but we're also out of the movie. It's like a fourth wall break. In cinematography, they have a thing where you have a fourth wall break to where the characters in the show know that they're in the show. They know that they're in a movie. And sometimes they'll look directly into the camera and address the audience. It's an eerie thing for you to be watching a movie and the person in the movie starts to talk to you about the movie that they're in. You know what I mean? It's otherworldly. And the prophecies and the things that we bring out, people hear it, and it's often the time to them, it's so far out that it seems otherworldly. But to those who also been given access to know that they're in the Lord's movie, they can understand. Kind of like, example would be something that everybody knows. Deadpool, oftentimes in a movie, he'll just turn to this camera and start speaking to the audience, and he knows he's in a movie. In the comics, if you ever had the comic books, Deadpool in the comic books would turn to the reader and speak to the reader, letting you know that he knows that he's in a show. He's in a comic book. That his world is a lesser existence than the realm that controls it. So again, we're not from below, we're from above. Which comes with comes with much more access to understanding than you could get in this world, which comes with a higher level of consideration, love, and respect than you could get in this world, man. It's just true. The Lord told us in John 13, let me go to it really quick, in 34, that we are to what? Let me see. John 13:34. A new commandment I give you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. And again, we know the kind of love he showed. He showed us agape. He put it all on the line for our sake. So we're to be living sacrifices and put it all on the line so that the elect could come back into the fold. Put our lives down so that the elect could get this understanding. In Abaratazah, we be a part of that number also. Our purpose is higher than somebody's minuscule purpose, the things they think they're chasing after, trying to achieve in this world, a lifestyle, feeling, all their dreams and things revolve around their flesh feeling good. We have spiritual concerns, okay? That's why let's go get the meaning of life. It's in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter." All right, he's about to give you the purpose of life. Fear God. If a man fears God, there's certain things that he won't do. There's certain things that he won't adhere to. There's a conduct that he's gonna upkeep. He has a code, which means if anybody can be trusted, it would be a man that fears the Lord. But somebody who doesn't fear the Lord, you can't really trust them, man. They're liable to do anything at any given moment. It's like the Matrix. When all those people that were still plugged in, at any moment they could turn into Mr. Anderson. That's somebody who doesn't fear the Lord. They could turn into Mr. Anderson at any given time. All right, it says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." This is your purpose. And his commandments are all encompassing, from your daily life to coming out on the highways and hedges and preaching his word, if you're a man that knows his truth, to how you deal in relationships, to how you deal with your children, to the things that you're concerned with, to your conversation, to what you put in your body, to the words that you speak. It's all encompassing. All right, verse 14. "For God shall bring every work into judgment, and every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil." The men that fear the Lord, that's where you're going to find true love and respect and true consideration. Even sometimes to the extent where it's not going to make you feel good, because that also includes you being rebuked and reproved from somebody to save you from your goddamn self. Let's go to Galatians 6 and 1. "Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual," we're spiritually concerned, right? "Restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted." Okay? So somebody who believes and they're falling into sin, you're going to do what you can so that person can repent and be restored to the right path. And again, it's going to come down gently, but sometimes when a brother's just blatantly wild and going off, sometimes it may come down a bit more harsh. That's covered in the scriptures as well. Right? This is a part of the burden. But this is the best burden you can have. And it's not a heavy burden either. There's things in the world that can get heavy on you, but this ain't a heavy burden. The end of this is everlasting life and righteousness. This leads to having flourishing relationships. This burden leads to health, mentally, spiritually, physically. And you got to understand, when you truly fear the Lord and you love him and you're showing that respect and you're being a living sacrifice, all things are going to work out for you ultimately. There may be things that you think that you want access to that you don't get access to because the Lord is protecting you from particular things. But all things that you're meant to have, it's gonna work out for you in righteousness, man. That's Romans 8. Let me go there real quick. Romans 8. "And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose." Now I wonder what that word there is. Which love is it? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Hey, agape. Yeah, it's agape, man. Boom. There it is. So, I ain't gonna make this too long, man. Aparatazah, the lesson was edifying, to the point. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rikaha Kodash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.